For hours and hours a day, I have to sit in this chair. You might too, in your office, while you're gaming, while you're painting or drawing, while you're doing your homework. There's a number of things you do in a chair. You can spend hours on it, and after a while, it hurts if it's not a good chair. It's the worst experience. And in this video, we're going to be doing an unboxing, assembly, and an overview, a review of the AndaSeat Kaiser 4XL gray fabric chair. So without ruining the ending, I'm actually sitting in the chair right now, and this has to be the most comfortable chair I've reviewed on This Bites For You so far. So without wasting any time, let's get started. I want to show you exactly why it's the most comfortable chair. All right, so get rid of the foam. So I had to pull everything out of the box because it wasn't coming out right. So I flipped the box over and then took the box off. So we'll kind of start from the bottom to the top. So right over here is the magnetic pillow. Now I've used magnetic pillows before. It's pretty awesome. And it feels kind of solid back here, which I'm not used to. So, and it feels very nice, and this material feels amazing. And then here we have the multi-function tilt mechanism, the part that goes right under the chair and where you slide the wheel frame into. Nothing else in here. And this is the accessories box, and we'll get back to this in a second. And this is the wheel base. Comes with all this. Should get, yep, just pull it right off. And that is aluminum. Well, you can hear that too. And nice and thick and sturdy. And this is the seat rest with pre-installed arm base, which is what has been causing the entire issue with being able to move everything. So feeling this, the armrest is smooth, even though it feels like it isn't. This little pattern right over here is actually just what it is something, but very nice and cushy. And then here is where you would sit the back of the chair. But anyway, this is just a quick unboxing, and then we'll get to building it and then reviewing it. That feels nice. We'll get back to all this in a sec. And then here is the backrest. It feels incredibly nice. It's not leatherette or anything along those lines. This is material, and it feels kind of clothy. Feels very nice. And then there's this weird piece here. Well, we'll see in a minute. And let's check the accessories box. All right, and the accessories box. We can see all of the accessories here. 5 PU casters, this guy's right over here. 5 magnetic side covers. 2 M4 screws, 1 long Allen key, 1 gas piston sleeve, height adjustment tilt level handle, these guys here, tilt level lock handle, one of these two, and safety cap, this guy right down here. For the winner's circle, AndaSeat Kaiser 4 gaming chair assembly instruction and user guide. You don't have to worry too much about this. We'll go over all of this inside of this video, but this is how to put it together. These are the magnetic side covers to cover the screws and all that stuff. These are the 6 casters, your wheels. The gas piston. And this is the gas piston sleeve. The height adjustment paddle, I think, and the tilt lock. Now these might both be the same, I'm not sure just yet, but there's 2 of them. And then here we have all the screws, Allen wrench, and covers, and all that good stuff. So let's get started building it. So step number 1 is going to be inserting the casters into right over here. You'll just pop them right in this hole and just push it in. Might be a little difficult at first, but when you sit down, if anything, they'll go all the way in. So just repeat that process across all of these. All right, I'll be right back. Let me do it real quick off camera. All right, quick and easy. So now we'll go ahead, flip it over. Now we'll just grab the piston, slide it right in here, and just make sure it's nice and tight in there. We're going to need to remove the Allen wrench from the box so that we can unscrew the sides of the backrest. So just right over here, remove these just for now and store them in a safe place. We're going to need them in a few seconds. And same thing on the other side. So now we're going to grab the backrest and slide it right into these two rests. This side, the right side, is solid. You can't move it unless, of course, you lift the handle. And this side is loose. So just make sure you stand it up or keep it aligned. So right here with those screws that remove, that's what we're going to slide right into here. Slide it right in there. The other side won't have it. It'll just be loose like this, but you should align it because you will be screwing screws in there in a second. Now we'll be reattaching the screws that we removed earlier. And at first do it with your fingertips just to get some threading in there. Now to better align this one, you'll want to screw this in a little tiny bit. More than just the threading, maybe 50% of the way. Now to make sure the hole aligns, just slide this end in here. Helps you find the right hole there. Don't puncture anything, just make sure it goes in. Then just screw it in 50% of the way again. And now we'll do the same thing on the other side. Same thing, just find the screw hole and then align it about 50% of the way, or screw it in 50% of the way. There you go. You might have to move it around a little bit. Now once you have that one in there, the same way we did before, just line them up like this. And then thread it with your fingertips. You might need to move the chair around, even though we just aligned it. Now once you have all four sides screwed in, at least 50%, on this very last one, now screw them all in 100%. Now you want to put in the side covers, so they're magnetic, so they should just slide in. Now you're going to want to flip the chair over, so just like this, so that you can get to the bottom side. Now you're going to need to grab 4 of these M8 screws. And now you're going to want to slide this piece out. This is going to connect to this weird part of the chair, but we're going to slide it to the side just for right now. We'll get to it in one sec. Just slide it under there, out of sight, out of mind for right now. Now we'll place this right over here. Front is going to be where your feet dangle from, and that'll be down here. This is for your back. So we're going to match up one screw here, just by hand at first, just so that if we wanted to, we could let go. But if I do, the chair's gonna fall down. So I'm going to place screws on all 4 of the holes. All right, now with the Allen wrench, we're gonna go ahead, tighten over here 100%, and then diagonally right down here 100%. And I would slide this as far back as possible. And now once you have these two, go ahead and screw these two as well, diagonally. So before we put the wheels in, we're going to need to screw this piece in right over here. But before we do that, we're going to need to join this weird piece that was in the backrest by pushing this down like it shows here and pulling this out. Okay, so now we're going to, you see how this divides metal coming through it? So we'll go ahead and might need to turn this around. Really hard to get a good angle, but we'll drop this metal right in there, that little metal ball. Then you might need to stretch a little tiny bit. There you go. So that it holds just like that. Now push that right into place right there. Now with the 2 machine screws included, we're going to screw these right into here. Now they don't give you a lot of room, so you might need to pull this a little bit. So I'm gonna just screw this in one end with my fingertips. Okay, once you get that one in, now you're gonna need to turn to get this one. It's really tight. Shouldn't be that tight, but it is. So then once you get it in there, you're not going to be able to screw that one in with your fingertips. Okay, just screwing that one in 100% now. The one on the left, once that one's all the way down, which it'll be down in a second, then we'll screw in the right one. So now we need to attach the wheels up here. Now before we do that, just make sure you put the cover right over it. And now we'll slide the piston right into here. Now we're ready to flip the chair over. All right, so on the bottom of the chair, we're gonna start with this little paddle here. And I think they're both the same, so I'm going to insert it right over here. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it this way then, because we're going to have to be able to lift it this way. Yep, okay. So perfect. This one is going to be facing forward, then turning the chair around. On the right side, let's see which one this will face. Slide it in, and that's to lock the chair in place. So perfect. So that will lock the chair from sliding backwards or tilting backwards, and that'll release it. And then this one over here will let the chair go up, or if you sit on it and hold it up again, it'll go down. And then this is what you'll do to firm the rocking mechanism so that it's not as easy or as difficult. So tighten it this way, loosen it this way, so that it's easier or more difficult to rock the chair. All right, so coming around this way, this is the mechanism to be able to slide the chair back, the backrest back. So we need to remove this piece. Just twist it out. Perfect. Now we can go all the way up. And also the package comes with this in the accessories box. We'll want to cover up this little hole here, and just because I'm like that, I like to match the lines over here with the lines right over here. You don't have to, but it's the way I prefer it. Actually, you might have to, which is great. Haha. Yep, it'll only slide in one way. Oh, that's not perfect. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's not bad. All right, so let's go ahead and sit in it real quick. Let's see what it feels like, and then we'll do a longevity test. All right, so this will be my first time sitting in the chair. So this will take up to 395 pounds. I'm 260, I gained 10 pounds. I got a new job, so I walk a whole lot less. Don't kill me for that. Now the heights are from 5'11 to 6'11. I am 5'6", but it'll go anything in between that. And at 5'6", it feels good. My feet aren't 100% touching the floor, but maybe. Now they are. So it feels good. Now this is at the most bottom position. I could probably go up a little tiny bit more, and then my feet will be dangling. That's not a horrible thing. Some people like that. I prefer to have my feet flat on the ground unless I'm sitting crisscross style. Now I'm gonna edit all of the video from this point sitting in this chair to give you a few hours, maybe even a day or two of real world use to tell you for sure how it feels after hours of sitting in it and all the features it provides. I will be using those. So 1 second. The AndaSeat Kaiser 4XL. This is day number 4 testing, and I will say this is by far the most comfortable chair I've sat in. If you've been on This Bites For You, you know I've reviewed quite a few chairs over my time, and in all that, this comes up as number 1. I have typically 3 chairs, and we'll go over that in a minute, that I choose from to sit either in this office or in my other office, and this has become number 1. Let's start off with a few of the features that make me like the chair. So everybody's got the 4D armrest, the armrest that can turn in and out like this, that can go forward and back like that. Then of course they can go down and up and down, and then the ones that let you go in and out like that. So that's pretty cool. And the way that they've added this in there, so when you turn like that, just makes it a little bit nicer. But now this has a really cool feature that is pretty new, that you press this button right over here and you can also do that. The use case would be if you're watching a movie or something and you're leaning back, maybe you want to tilt it like that, and that might be a little more comfortable for some people. So that's pretty cool, but there's more. This has been the very first chair I've used that I've actually used the headrest, because it fits perfect and it adds to another feature. But so it is magnetic, it utilizes memory foam as well, and it has a cooling layer. So that's kind of nice, and you don't just throw it right here, you can move it around a little bit, and it's tight. It's a real tight magnet, holds on real well. You can move it around up to 20 centimeters. So that's nice. The feature that I love the most, and you really can't tell because it's hidden, is the back right over here. Now, it looks like it sticks out because it does, and you can adjust that, which is cool. So there's a little lever right here, and watch right here as I pull that lever. This entire backrest moves up, so you can see a little bit better. It moves up and actually makes contact with your back. I've never had that in any chair. I was born with a bad back, slip disc, and a few years ago I broke my coccyx bone. So I'm always in pain. So this helps me out a ton. Now mind you, I don't use it this far up. I might use it here, but you have to hold it back and then push that little lever back in to get your perfect level. But there's still more. So with this little mechanism here, you're able to roll the back here. So let's see if you could see that. You should be able to see that moving up and moving down. You could see it right over here the most. And that helps a ton. There's still more. So that's like kind of a rolling on your back. Mind you, you're not going to be here moving it up and down, but it helps get the perfect spot in your back. This is awesome, but there's still more. So over here allows that to pop in and out. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it, and then watch right over here. So you might be able to see it. This one, I don't find, yeah, you can see it right down here. I don't find totally amazing, but it's still nice, the fact that it's there. And this back is amazing. This is where that weird little cable that sticks out right over here, that's where that adjusts to. So it's incredibly important that you connect that. Now, like most seats, it reclines, so you pull this handle, but as it is, it will rock, and you can lock that rocking mechanism. If you don't like to rock, you just lock it, which is right over, wrong one, right over here, and now it won't lock. But unlock it, and then you can rock. It also goes up to 135 degrees when you pull this lever. Whoa, I was really leaning back, which is why it was so loud. But even with the rocking mechanism enabled and tilted all the way back, so you get an extra, it goes up to 135 degrees. It's beautiful, and you can see my feet are up. I'm not afraid that it's gonna slam back or fall down or anything. It's awesome. And of course, when you're done, just come up and it works great, like most chairs do though. At its lowest, it is 14 inches tall. At its highest, 16.5 inches tall. So it's not bad at all. Again, I'm 5'6", and it works great for me almost at the lowest. I can do the low as well, and I can do high. At the very highest, my feet are floating just a little bit. Actually, I'll show you real quick. So I can touch the ground, but my feet are floating. So I just have to lower it a tiny bit. There we go. And now it's perfectly fine. So these are all the chairs I use on a regular basis. They've all been great chairs. Some are better than others. But for example, the AndaSeat Kaiser 3 XL has been a great chair, but it's a bucket seat. Bucket seats aren't my favorite, but it's still comfortable. But I have to replace one of the chairs, which is actually pretty fitting. Then we have the Kolami 5188. This is an amazing mesh office chair, but it actually, for some reason, and it's mesh, it's horrible on my tailbone and not as great on my back. It's still comfortable, but over time, it's not as great. So then this one, I've been using the Main Gear limited edition Aspen White. This was the very first chair I reviewed on This Bites For You, and it's still held up. It's a great chair, and it's going to move to my fourth chair maybe, but this actual chair has been at my workstation for a little while now. It's been great, but I keep going back to the Vertigear PL 6800. This is an amazingly comfortable chair. Even with my bad back and my broken coccyx bone, this is great. But again, after a little while, it's not as great. Now this one, the Kaiser 4, the one we're reviewing, I've been sitting on it now for about 8 days, mind you, a few hours at a time for editing this video and my last video and the next video. So I've been reviewing a lot on it, doing a lot of editing, a little Battlefield 6 as well. And this one has been amazing. My tailbone hasn't hurt whatsoever. My back hasn't hurt whatsoever. The way that they've maneuvered this, and I don't know what they did to the chair. Now, mind you, it's not the most cushy, although I do like the linen. I'm kind of tired of the fake leather and everything, but it feels great. The linen feels amazing. And then, of course, the comfort of the chair. And again, I don't know why they don't make chairs like this cushy that you kind of sink into it. But regardless of that, this has been incredibly comfortable. I can sit on it for hours and hours and hours, and I don't need to get up to go do something while the foam pops back up. It just feels amazing. Now, the bad thing about the chair, and with every chair, is the wheels. The wheels are nice and everything for what they are, but whenever I stick with a chair, I go for these, the Oasis, the gel wheels. They'll make the chair slide and glide, and then they add a little extra cushion to the chair itself, so it helps make it a lot more comfortable. All of my chairs, as you can see here, have it. What doesn't have it, I've either given to my son for when him and his friends play Dungeons and Dragons, or the band comes over so that they can sit on. So the garage has a bunch of nice chairs as well, but they don't have these awesome, because those are from my office chairs. I need to glide around nicely. The Kaiser 4 from our friends at AndaSeat is an incredible chair. This is now what, day 11 I've been using it, and I've fallen in love with it. Of course, you can see I'm sitting crisscross, typically the way I sit while I'm working, while I'm doing anything. And it's perfect for that, although of course it's perfect for any way you sit. It is incredibly comfortable. I love the way that the back, even if you're not seated all the way back, or the way you like to sit perfectly, you can pop that back out, and it's amazing. It feels great. The headrest is in the perfect position, and if not, you can adjust it. That's awesome. The fabric, I prefer it over the leather or leatherette, so that feels great as well. The armrest, every single thing about this chair is pretty amazing. Now, I don't make any kind of affiliate sales or anything, but if you use coupon code BITES, you get an additional $30 off base price. That's gonna help if you're interested in this chair. And it comes in a ton of beautiful colors, so check that out. The fabric is only 2 colors, but regardless, it's a beautiful chair. So again, I've sat in it for hours and hours and hours for these 10 days, and my coccyx bone, my back, nothing has hurt. This chair is amazing. I can sit back, and the way the arc is on the back, it feels great. It's pushing at the right spot. And again, I can adjust it. This chair feels like it was made just for me. Now, It doesn't have obscene cushions or anything that you're going to sink in and it's going to feel, none of the chairs have it, but the way that they have it in this chair, it feels perfect. Again, it feels like they made it just for me. So definitely best get an AndaSeat. It's an amazing chair. Again, this is Iggy with This Bites For You, doing a review for the AndaSeat Kaiser 4 XL, my #1 chair for now. Iggy with This Bites For You up. See you guys.